Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We're with Kuno Becker, Panic 5 Bravo, which opens this Friday in Chicago and nationwide. Kuno, if you can tell us a little bit about the movie, tell us a bit about the script. The movie is very interesting, and how you came up about. I know you're the director and the writer, and how you came up with the script.
Well, it started as a documentary that I was shooting in Mexico City, and taping everything one night in an ambulance in Mexico City and close to Mexico City, around Mexico City. And that documentary started out of the sadness that I feel about what's going on with this incredible wave of violence that we're living and what we're going through. So I was trying to find some hope in these people that risk their lives every day for somebody else, because I was trying to find some sort of exit, some sort of solution or possible solution or some sort of light for this problem. So, and then one of those days I lived this crazy, sad, tragic situation where I was very close to a 5 Bravo, which is the code for Mexican in Mexico for gunshot wound. That's the code for that, 5 Bravo. So I was taping this guy being helped by the EMTs and medics. After that, and then he was fighting for his life, and he looked at me at one moment, and he really moved me, and it changed me inside. And that moment it just defined a whole different thing for me. It was like a moment that I'm never going to be able to forget. And then that moment inspired me to write the script, and I wrote the script because I wanted to talk a lot more about what was going on, and the documentary always tells you the story and tells you what's going to happen because it's real life. In this case, because it's fiction, because it's inspired by true events, but it's actually something that I wrote. I could talk more about the issues that I also care about, like immigration, this war that we're living against drugs, and this all of these things that I care about. Violence, how violence is changing us, how violence is making us a different society now these days. How in Mexico we're just totally used to see it, and which is incredibly tragic and bad, instead of doing something about it. So that's how it started.
So you talk about real issues, like realism, that stuff that really happens nowadays. You talk about the border, you talk about immigration.
Yeah.
How close is that to a lot of people that live here and in Mexico? I mean, how real is that to some of the folks that are?
It's tough. They're tough subjects because we're very wounded right now. We're very sad with what's going on. A lot of people are also used to it, so they don't want to talk about it. They want to see a movie that's just something totally different, instead of something violent. In the States, I think it's a different story because even though a lot of people are living violence in a different way, they're not experiencing the same things that we're experiencing in Mexico. So the movie becomes a different thing here. Only because of that, and also because the audience here is used to see genres a lot more than in Mexico. In Mexico, we do very few genres. Now we do actually different ones, but for a lot of years we were just making the same kind of movies with a different feel to it. Now we're making romantic comedies, and we're making a couple of horror movies. Some of them are bad. Very, very few are okay. We're doing different genres, but my point is that here in the States, the audience is a lot more used to see niche genres, like for example, I don't know, it's a stupid example, but Saw, that was that little violent, crude, okay, graphic kind of movie, and then they're used to see this movies that are NC-17, that are almost unwatchable, and they're used to see horror, and they're used to see romantic comedies and action or comedy, and then I think that the movie has a better shot of reaching that niche and that audience if we promote it right, and if we take it to that audience. In Mexico, we're very sad with what's going on, so a lot of people don't want to watch violence in a movie because they're living it. Even though it's like that, the movie actually did pretty well in Mexico, and I thought it wasn't going to be great because first of all, we never make suspense movies, never. So this is one of the first ones. Like there are very, very few. And that's a genre that people are not used to see. And secondly, they don't want to see anything violent right now. That's what we think. That's what everybody in the industry thinks, because of the reactions that we get from the box office.
Take us back to the cast. Talk a little bit about Alex and some of the characters in the movie and how the relationship grows throughout the movie.
Alex to me is important because he represents how violence is changing us. How a human being can actually do something incredibly bad or good if circumstances push him to the limit. So that's what he represents. He has this one and only thing, which is love, and there's one person that he loves. And when something happens to the story that Agustin, the mafia guy, takes that away from him, then he just flips and changes 100%, because he doesn't have a reason to live, which is what happens when somebody or with somebody that's gonna, for example, commit suicide. There's just nothing. There's just nothing to live for. It's not even. It's not only incredible sadness, but it's also this sense of emptiness. This sense of I have nothing. So that's what happens to Alex.
One last question. Why should LatinoScoop.com readers come out on Friday?
Because it's entertaining. It's a movie that's very entertaining. It's a movie that has an original concept. It's not something that's going to be predictable. I think a lot of people are tired of, at least me, of watching movies that are 100% predictable. Of watching movies where you know what's going to happen, or you have a really close idea of what's going to happen. And 99% of the times you're right. You know how the movie's going to end. You know how the characters are going to react, and that to me becomes a boring movie. It becomes predictable, and it's just not fun. And they should see this one because it's fun, it's entertaining, it's original because of the concept. Everything happens in one interior. Also because it's not predictable. You never know what's going to happen. Even till the last minute of the movie, you really don't know if somebody's going to do something or not that you think. It's never predictable. That's the one thing, or one of the things that I can guarantee about this movie. Entertainment, and two, that is just totally unpredictable.